need a microphone?
No, I don't need a microphone. And I thank Kathy for this mentioning the Jones Act. I wrote the editorial that was published in the New York Times that created the awareness of the Jones Act, and then Trump very benevolently gave a 10-day reprieve on it 3 days later. And I appreciate you bringing that up, and I appreciate the map that you showed that showed the disparity of the huge gray behemoth of American contractors, and then that little thin slice, and the mention of Chuck Norris in terms of the mercenaries that are coming. There's a cognitive disconnect that concerns me here with respect to public-private partnerships. I'm going to give you an example. The largest highway in Puerto Rico, the José de Diego Expressway, is 51 miles from Atillo to Santurce. It covers San Juan. It became a public-private partnership under the tutelage of Luis Fortuño in 2011. It was originally negotiated as a 40-year lease with Puerto Rico receiving 50% of the revenue. Then it was subsequently renegotiated in private with no public review. It is now a 50-year public-private partnership, and the revenue split was changed to 75-25, and the profits are now projected at $1.6 billion in profits. That is additional toll money is going to be paid in profits to Goldman Sachs and Abertis. In the same week that was announced, Luis Fortuño was appointed as a member of the board of Abertis Corporation. So there is a concern when you have public-private partnerships that may look good on their face and may provide some immediate respite, and then they are subsequently renegotiated in private to the detriment of Puerto Rico. I'll give you another example of a concern that I have. PREPA now is on the chopping block. Between 2009 and 2013, precisely during the administration of Fortuño, who, by the way, inculcated more debt than any other governor in the history of Puerto Rico. $16.4 billion in debt during a $4 billion administration. $9 billion went to private contracts that we're not aware of. $1 billion which went to public relations. $400 million of which went into a gasoducto that was never made. $17 million of that went to his childhood friend Ray, who we still don't know where that money went for the gasoducto. I'm sure there's no controversy about this, right? My figures are correct? Okay, you can check them. By the way, you can look at Google, you can go, Abertis Goldman Sachs War. You can do that right now, and you'll see the article that I'm referring to with respect to this José de Diego Expressway. Now, a concern that I have about PREPA is that between 2009 and 2013, 4 series AA bonds were issued, supposedly because Wall Street was concerned about subsidizing PREPA and helping it to run. The problem is that there's been a subsequent government study that shows that 83% of those monies weren't used for operating funds, construction, capital reconstruction, for purchasing the oil, even for the payment of the principal of antecedent debt. It was paid, those 4 in a row, which total over $4 billion, were used to pay interest on the preceding bonds. So this is a Ponzi scheme. This is really nakedly illegal. And this was done during the administration of Fortuño. Now, the concern I have, and here's my question, finally, in view of this cognitive dissonance that I'm hearing, where everyone here is saying, Wall Street's going to come, we're going to have public-private partnerships, and they're going to help Puerto Rico. Well, excuse me, but the concern is that they're not P3s, public-private partnerships, they're P5s, public-private partnerships for the plunder of Puerto Rico. And another concern is that there are only 2 parties in Puerto Rico. It's not the PPD and the PNP, it's the PLP, the party of lining their pockets. So in this context, Kathy, my question is, in this context, when will you explore the possibility of pushing hard with all your advocacy skills and accumulated political capital towards to the ending the Jones Act in Puerto Rico, allowing for a capital accretion in the island so that we don't have this hoard, because that's all the P3s are going to do. All the P3s are going to do are going to accelerate that disparity. So finally, those are FEMA contracts that will reflect. They will. But here's my question. They will reflect what's going to happen. Puerto Rico will be divided by these P3s, and you can say that Puerto Rico will be independent. It won't be. It'll be owned by Wall Street under these P3s, under 50-year contracts. So therefore, what other options do you have for Puerto Rico other than selling it off to Wall Street and doing it a party that supposedly is helping, but it's really selling Puerto Rico?